Wasabi guys, it's Void again. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. I want to talk about something that is very important, and especially considering my top 10 ban-worthy list for Commander. It's quite polarizing of a topic whenever you bring up bannings, anything like that, because you have certain people, of course, that have a very narrow viewpoint of cards and their interactions. I do understand that this is a casual format, but people use that argument that it's a casual format to justify having just completely busted cards. I understand if you ban too many cards and you go crazy with a ban list, you can end up ruining a format. That's not what I'm saying. When I made that list of top 10 ban worthy cards, I actually considered cards that were not just combo cards, because a lot of people thought I was just going after the combo cards. I wasn't. A card doesn't have to combo to be broken or ban worthy or anything like that. A card has to be very narrow in its playability, very limited to interactions other than combos. And if you saw cards like Palinchron and Mind Over Matter are they pretty much are the number one whenever you think about just busted cards that have no other interactions in the format other than comboing. Those two usually come to mind. And yes, they happen to be blue. And I got some comments saying, oh, you just hate blue. No, I don't hate blue. If you watch my deck text, I do play those cards. So, and other cards too. Cards don't have to necessarily combo to be busted either. So you have cards like Academy Rector, which aren't necessarily combo cards. They just sort of cheat into play other cards that could then combo. But really, the card itself, its interaction is not a combo. It's just a cheat into play type of ability, which in itself it's not fun. It lacks any complexity or interaction with other cards. And that's really what I'm talking about. If a card is just so powerful, but it really just doesn't, it's not interesting. It doesn't do anything other than just serve a purpose of comboing and just being uncontested. And that's usually when we talk about combo control decks. People have their complaints about stacks and all the oppressive cards in there, but it's sort of a collective unit of just oppression, usually with that type of deck. Whereas with combo control, there's usually going to be one or two cards that you lose to. And it's going to be a situation where you're either tapped out or you're just not playing blue. And that is detrimental to this format. If you were to talk about what cards need to be banned, you're talking about, this is not modern, or this isn't legacy, or this isn't vintage, where you need a 0 mana counterspell and you need to hold on to one. So when we talk about banning cards, it's for a good reason. I'm not talking about just banning combo cards, because that, honestly, I don't care. There are combos that are very fun and interactive. For instance, Brea, one of my favorite commanders now. Main reason why is because she combos with multiple cards, and it's not just a linear, okay, here's two cards on the field at the same time, you win the game. You usually need 4 or 5 certain cards in a certain, in a certain order in succession. You need to have this on the board at the same time, and your opponents have, dozen ways to interrupt it. So it's not just like it's going to come out of nowhere. Combos to me are usually, oh wow, you pulled that off, that's so epic, that's so amazing. Not, oh wow, you just played 2 cards and won the game for no fucking reason other than you just like winning the game quickly. I'm guilty of winning the game quickly off of fucking combos like this. And if you've seen my decks, you know that I play those cards. Why do I play them, you might ask, if I hate them? It's because I want people to finally get it, that even though this is a casual format, and you can play whatever the hell you want to play because it is eternal. It's one of the most flexible formats next to Vintage, where you can play pretty much anything. That in Cube. But really, when it comes down to just having fun playing this game, I think people overlook the fact, when they use that argument that this is a casual format, and they use that argument as to say we shouldn't have banned cards. That's the exact opposite thing that I'm hearing. When you say this is a casual format, the immediate thing that comes to me is that this isn't Legacy, this isn't Vintage. We shouldn't have to be playing blue to win games. It's so confusing whenever you hear people say this, and I mean, because I'm used to hearing people complain about Legacy and Vintage and how, it's either win turn one or just play a fair deck that costs like thousands of dollars, and that's an understatement. But it shouldn't be that way for Commander, because you have pre-constructed decks that are $35 versus decks that play maybe a couple, $30, $40 cards in themselves. So you're spending a lot of money to make these combo decks that usually only need one or two cards to combo out and win. To me, that's not. I mean, that's not really the combos that are worthwhile. Like if I play Micaeus the Unhallowed and Triskelion, I don't feel proud of myself. I feel like I sort of just cheated a win, and it's usually off of something like a Tooth and Nail that I get those off of. It's just so stupid having those cards in the format. I didn't mention those in my top 10 ban-worthy list because I feel like those are a little bit easier to deal with than Palinchron, just because most of the time you're going to be playing blue to protect your combo there. And that's another thing people didn't understand of my list, why I put blue cards on there. Blue in itself, of course you have card advantage and you have just counter spells, and people are always going to complain about that. That is, again, a main reason why combos are so awesome in blue and they're so powerful in blue, because they have the ability to protect their combos. They have the ability to say, okay, you have, you're one of the only guys in the group right now that has a removal spell or a kill spell that can stop whatever I'm trying to do right now. And I'm just going to counter it with a 0 mana counter spell to protect my combos. So you run into the problem here where, even though, yeah, it is enjoyable to play a whole bunch of cards from the older sets, Urza Saga in particular, when we talk about, really, really busted cards with Palinchron, with Academy Rector, and then you go to Exodus with Mind Over Matter. Those three cards are just freaking insane. The power level in that block was just ridiculous, and the combos there, Academy Rector doesn't combo, but it's, cheating into play something like an Omniscience that also cheats into play something else. Anything that cheats into play that doesn't really, it doesn't serve a utility purpose. And that's another thing that I need to bring up. Combos, not just combos, but cards that are involved in combos that serve no utility purpose other than just winning you the game off of that specific combo. Like, for instance, I could say Triskelion deserves to be banned because, honestly, what builds does Triskelion exist in without Micaeus the Unhallowed? I'll wait. Because quite frankly, that's the only reason why the card exists in this format at all. On deck lists, if you were to look up, the only reason why Triskelion exists is because of that infinite combo that wins you the game. It's stupid as hell. It is harder to pull off than some of the other combos in the format, but quite frankly, it's still to the point where if your opponents are tapped out, you're going to do it and win. And I think that's bullshit when, okay, you have to either not play your spells every single turn in order to save up enough mana to counterspell or remove stuff instant speed. That's always going to be a problem when you have to say, as a format that's supposed to be casual. We're not even talking about dual commander. Every time I reference commander in this video, by the way, it's supposed to be like 4-player commander. It's not dual commander. So you would think in a casual format there would be sort of attention to detail when it comes to making cards a little bit more balanced and fair. Blue is easily the most powerful color, hands down. There's no contest. You can't argue any other color instead of blue, and it's because of consistency, counter spells, the ability to protect combos, and the ability to draw into combos as well. This is the most underrated aspect, but it is the most powerful reason why blue is the best and most powerful color in the game, is because it has the best consistency, the best card draw there, and not only that, but you have a ton of combos associated with it that are seemingly effortless, which is yet another thing. Effortless combos. Combos that don't involve multiple cards, that are just easy to pull off. And I'm not talking about like 3 cards. I'm talking about 4, 5, 6 cards, maybe more than that. People complained about Protean Hulk getting unbanned, but have you ever actually looked up the combos for Protean Hulk? They're actually quite involved, to the point where it kind of forces you to play a deck that is built around that specific combo. and it kind of makes it difficult to go into other themes and other strategies when the whole purpose of your deck is to build something that can tutor up a Protean Hulk, kill it, and then tutor up combo piece after combo piece until you actually have the right setup to win there. And that's basically how Protean Hulk works. If you were curious, just look it up. Again, I forget. There's like Devoted Druid, Malera. There's a bunch of combo pieces that, quite frankly, I don't remember them all because I don't play Protean Hulk. But there's so many different combos in this format that I'm not against them at all. But there are ones that I do feel that the format would be better off without. Like, say, Palinchron as a combo card. It serves no utility purpose, but people are always going to say, well, you can't have this combo and say, oh, you're not against this combo, or to say you hate this and not hate this. There is a difference between combo cards, and I hope people will someday figure that out, that there are combos that are easy to deal with. There are combos that are just amazing that you have to give someone props for playing them. And then there are combos that are just effortless and okay, anyone who just started playing the game could figure out this combo. It's not complex at all. I'm not going to, shake your hand for pulling off something that only took 2 cards and okay, you waited till, someone was tapped out, usually the other blue player, before you actually comboed out and won. Any combo that happens in one turn out of nowhere, that's bullshit. Come on, let's be honest. In a casual format, you can't use that argument anymore because in a casual format's supposed to be casual. So people are always going to say, oh, well, you can always, talk to your play group, see what they want to do with the bannings. Quite frankly, it's a pain in the ass to keep track of what cards everybody's playing. I was always against trying to ban Soul Ring in play groups because it's just stupid. It's a 1-mana artifact that everybody plays in their decks regardless, so why ban it? It's not that much of an advantage turn 1. It can be a significant advantage to some decks, but for the most part, if everybody's playing it, it's fair. And that's always my motto, which is why I was a little bit disappointed when Smuggler's Copter, when those got banned. Those are just good consistency cards, and I don't know why they freaked out over that. But when it comes to Dual Commander, I think that definitely has an impact on Commander as a format when it comes to the competitiveness. When it comes to bannings, I think people have sort of, they've mixed it up a bit. I think when it comes to like bannings, I think the 1v1 format should be the most competitive and not the other way around, where there should be a lot more combos, a lot more cards available in Dual Commander, which it's the opposite. You have I think Soul Ring and Mana Crypt are banned in 1v1. So when it comes to just combo cards in general, when you look at Dual Commander, it's a bit harder to pull them off, but I honestly would expect to see more aggressive strategies, competitive strategies in Dual Commander, a lot more cards available, not on the ban list, rather than just seeing tons of combo cards and just a whole bunch of combo decks, 1v1 powerhouses that are still legal in 4-player, casual Commander. I think what was the guy's name? The other Trest dude, Edric something. The Leovold guy, but he's not Leovold. He's whenever creature you control deals combat damage. I was told that he was banned in 1v1, so right there, that's a head scratcher. I don't know why. Definitely not as busted as some other commanders or commander options or commander cards in general. So when it comes to, the whole subject of banned cards is going to piss off a ton of people because most people just, I get it. You want to play a format that's fun and has all these different options. However, you also need to accept the fact that a lot of these options are just so damn overpowering, and there's no way to compete with cards that you can't compete with, like with answers, and you have to keep all your mana untapped, or you have to, sit on blue counterspells, like 0-mana counterspells. If you have to play blue in order to beat the best decks in the format, there's something wrong. And I find that to be the case more often than not when it comes to stacks control, when it comes to combo control. If you're not playing blue, you're really going to struggle, especially if no one in your play group other than the combo player, the stacks player, is playing blue. if you're like the only one, then you're likely going to be depended on to save everybody else in your group. So it's such an importance to play, combo cards and in decks, and especially if you're going to F&M competitive formats for Commander, uh, or I should say like competitive settings, and there's like prizes on the line, like there are for me a lot of times. And it's between playing the aggressive combo decks that usually win out without really anybody trying to put up a fight, because most people that go to these events, they try to play the casual for fun decks. Usually get steamrolled by the combo decks though, out of nowhere, and it all happens in one turn. I mean, it's hard to predict a lot of this too. It basically comes down to, is it their turn? That's when you can predict a combo, because you never really know. And it's frustrating to have that type of scenario just again and again in the format that is supposed to be casual and for fun. But again, that's just me. I mean, I like playing a competitive format. I like good value creatures. I like actually trying in a game to win, rather than depending on one card or two cards to win me a game every single time and just tutoring them up. I mean, that's a pain in the ass. Having to deal with those types of decks, I mean, I've played them before, and I've played against them. They're not fun, and they don't really, after a while, even the person who plays them, they lose a bit of enthusiasm for the format every single time they're allowed to get away with it. I mean, I have nothing against someone that wants to play combos and wants to play a quicker game. However, when it comes to just playing combos just to win, rather than playing combos for fun, that's when people kind of lose touch with the game. It sort of loses its purpose as a format too, when you have to play these combos to win, and you have to play these combos to find any sort of purpose as just a Magic player in general. And that's why you look at formats like Legacy and Vintage that are dominated by combo decks and turn one win decks, and you have just an abundance of decks that have to mulligan to get to Force of Wills. I mean, this shouldn't be that type of format where you have to hold up counter spells. I mean, it's BS. But yet there's going to be people that fight me the whole way every single time I say it, and I just don't know why. I don't know how else to explain it. There are combos that are fair. There are combos that are bullshit. I mean, that's as fair as I can possibly get. Anyway, guys, let me know what you think about combos in Commander. Thanks again for helping me get to 100 subscribers. Signing off, Void Mage Gamer.